Well, now we want to bring in Nekeisha Lewis. She witnessed the chaos during the shooting from what's called the NFL Plaza. Thank you so much for speaking with us this morning. We are so glad you were not harmed during what must have been just this terrifying situation. I know you told some of our colleagues at NBC News yesterday that it felt like you were in a war zone. If you could just help people understand kind of where you were, this area. I understand you've hung out with your friends before pretty often, kind of what you do there, and then what you heard and saw when the shooting began.
So the plaza of the building provides public access to the community, so it's more of like a recreational area for folks who live and work in the area. I have 3 friends who just moved into the area, so I was having dinner there. That was an ideal spot for us to catch up. Within moments of us actually talking and eating, we heard rapid gunfire from inside the building. And I remember looking up. I had brief conversations with the officer prior to him going into the building. And I remember my field of vision was where he was standing before the gunshots. I could see him or see straight into the building as the gunshot started. One of the walls of the building, which is glass, was practically shattered, but not all the way. I couldn't see inside. So I knew immediately it was some type of gunfire. And my friends and I crouched as best as we could. We were on the perimeter walls of the property. There are seating areas along that area. We crouched toward the exit of the property. And as we were about to exit the property fully, we saw a worker run from the building, and he was running really hard. And I was like, wow, that's really great. He's trying to get away from the chaos. But as he reaches us, he finally says, help, help, I've been shot. And because of how strong he was running, I couldn't believe, so I turned around to look. He had what looked like a wound, I don't know if it was in the back.
And
to help him settle down.
What were you able to do to help that person in that moment? Because I think a lot of people, their instinct would have been to run, but I know you and your partner actually helped that person.
Basically, the wall is elevated on one side and is very low on the other. So we all just instinctively thought to just get everybody and ourselves behind the taller section of the wall, which is the street that you're seeing right now.
After that moment, when you left the plaza, I know you spoke also with an officer. What was that conversation like?
It was before everything transpired. We had a bit of a spat that I don't know if I want to address right now. But he subsequently went inside the building. Essentially, I felt like when we just got into the perimeter where we decided to seat ourselves, he suddenly had positioned himself immediately next to us, which for guys on detail and security guards, that's what they do to certain groups of people, you know what I mean? And so I took issue with that. I was saying we're clearly not a present threat to the building while you standing over us. That's making me uncomfortable in my user experience. And he was a very mild-mannered man. He didn't try to be all, like boisterous or anything. He just gently left us where we're sitting and went into the building to stand close to the revolving door, which I imagine that's where he encountered the gunman, because he would have been the first and at that point the only person on site with a weapon that could challenge him. So that's why he might have been shot first. But I do think back to whether if he were still next to us, it would have been caught up in the crossfire. I do remember running across the street to the church as we were escaping the immediate vicinity of the incident. I just started crying. I don't know anybody personally, but the shock of the experience, not having been in a mass shooting incident before.
We thank you for watching, and remember, stay updated on breaking news and top stories on the NBC News app or watch live on our YouTube channel.